Hi, Steve Ritchie here, PGA professional and member of the Andrew Morris team. Today we're going to talk a little bit about, not about technique, we're going to talk about pre-shot routine and sort of trying to get your game from driving range to golf course. I think this is probably where people struggle the most, where they hit the ball fantastic on the range, they get to the golf course and it all goes pear-shaped. They do all that practice Monday to Friday and they get to their weekend and expecting big things, it just doesn't happen. I think people don't necessarily practice smart. I think that's what you need to try and work on. And with that, for me, you need to split up your time between technique and also like a pre-shot routine and what you're trying to do with the golf ball. Don't get me wrong, technique is really important, and I would say it's a major sort of part of the golf sort of game approach, but it's not absolutely everything. I think what we're going to try and do is get you away from that constant working in your technique, working in mechanics, and just try and pull you away from that sort of that feeling. So what we're going to try and do is give you a sense of what you're trying to do in that sort of part of your practice. And for me, it's again visualizing a golf course on a driving range. I think it really, really helps, and it definitely puts you under a bit more pressure when you're playing golf. So if you're standing in a bay here up at Lagan View and you're looking out into this vast sort of space here, we're trying to sort of simulate your first driving hole on your golf course, and imagine the trees, the fairway, the hazards, the rough, everything like that really, and just focus on what you're trying to do with the golf ball here. We look at Jason Day, we look at Justin Rose, and these sort of guys are really, really focused on their pre-shot routine, and it looks, they do the same thing every single time, and I think there's a reason why they're so successful. Yes, they're extremely good players, but they are sort of, in that moment, they are sort of really focused on what they're trying to do rather than what's happening with this golf club here. So what we're going to do here is we're going to try and sort of narrow our target, make it small enough so if we miss our small target, our misses won't be quite as big. If we go for a big target, there's a chance our misses could be huge. So with this as well, I'm going to try and visualise what I'm trying to do with a golf ball here and focus on a small target in the distance. With that, when I feel like I'm ready, I've got my target, I'm just going to try and paint a little picture really of what I want to see the golf ball do, if it's drawing or fading or if it's just going straight towards my target. But I'm trying to give myself the best sort of opportunity to hit this ball towards where I'm aiming. From there, when I feel comfortable enough with that, I'm going to stand behind the golf ball and pick a line for my board and my target. This helps me get my alignment as well. I think, again, a lot of people struggle with their alignment, and finding it on a golf course is difficult. So approaching a ball from this angle was much, much easier for me. So once I get my sort of target in mind, I position my golf club in first, here, my body parallel left of that line, take a couple of looks at my target, a couple of deep breaths, and pull the trigger. Not bad, pretty good. From here, we need to look at maybe a point system. I think that would make it even harder for you, or not harder, just put you in a much more pressurised situation. I think if you miss a fairway, if you maybe start off with 6 points on your sort of practice on your hole, miss a fairway, you lose a point. You miss a green, you lose a point. Up here we're lucky we've got baskets to chip into, but again, if you miss the green, don't be afraid to get your wedge out and hit a little pitch shot to a basket. All this sort of stuff really, really helps you try and sort of get you away from that technique and get you into a sort of like hopefully a more sort of on-course type of mentality. Hopefully this helps. Give me a shout if you need any more tips.